Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're diving into a story that's, well, incredibly powerful. It really makes you question things like family loyalty, consequence, looking at a mother-in-law's blessing, three daughters-in-law's reckoning. It's described as a true account from a small village.
And it promises some surprising insights, right? And crucial lessons.
Definitely. It's not just a story. It feels more like a window, into how respect or, well, the lack of it plays out in a family.
Rooted in a specific tradition, but with these, universal truths baked in.
Exactly. So our mission today is to really unpack this family's dynamics, pull out the core lessons about respecting elders, the rewards, the consequences.
And understand how certain actions can just dramatically shift a family's whole destiny.
Right. Okay, so let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So first, let's set the scene. The story starts in this prosperous, seemingly happy home. Haji Ibrahim's family in a small village near Gujranwala. He had three sons, Akram, Aslam, and Ashraf, all hardworking, involved in farming, providing for the family.
A solid foundation, it sounds like.
Yeah, but the real heart of the home, according to the source, was his wife, Bibi Halima.
And the mother-in-law herself.
Yes, and she's painted as exceptionally pious, really devoted to worship, generous, especially known for helping the poor.
So she's established right away as someone significant spiritually and in the community. That feels important.
It really does. It kind of sets the benchmark for what's eventually lost, perhaps.
Right. So what happens when the sons get married?
Well, the sons marry Shahida as the eldest daughter-in-law, then Shabana and Shakira. And initially, Bibi Halima just embraces them, like her own daughters.
A good start, though. Harmonious.
Seemed that way. Everything was, flowing well. A picture of a united, thriving family, for a while at least.
Okay, I sense a but coming.
Yeah, there's always a but, isn't there? As time went on, things started to shift. Bibi Halima got older, reached 70. She became frail. Her mobility wasn't great.
Aging happens. That's natural.
True. But then her husband, Haji Ibrahim, passed away.
Ah, okay. So that changes the dynamic significantly. The sons are now fully in charge.
Exactly. And this is the pivot point. The daughters-in-law, who she'd welcomed so warmly, they start to see Bibi Halima differently.
As a burden.
That's the word the source uses. A burden on their homes.
That shift from loved family member to burden is... well, it's sadly common in some situations, isn't it? How did it start showing?
It apparently started with Shahida, the eldest daughter-in-law. She began the negativity, complaining about Bibi Halima needing things, specifically saying she's so old, yet she asks for so much food.
Wow. That's quite blunt. And the others?
Slowly, Shabana and Shakira kind of fell in line. They adopted Shahida's attitude.
It's like the negativity became contagious, or maybe it just needed one person to voice what others were perhaps thinking. It normalized the disrespect.
Could be. And the shift in attitude, it didn't stay just attitude. It led to actions, actual neglect.
Okay, tell me more. What kind of neglect?
It became systematic. They'd neglect cleaning her room. They'd delay bringing her medicine. Sometimes, the source says, they even deliberately served her cold food.
Deliberately cold food. That's incredibly cruel. Petty and cruel.
It is. And Bibi Halima, she just bore it. Quietly suffering, enduring it all without making a fuss.
Her silence is quite telling.
Yeah.
Was it resignation or something else? Deep strength, maybe?
Hard to say for sure, but the narrative emphasizes her endurance. And then there's this one incident that's just really stark.
Okay.
One day, she falls really ill, high fever, difficulty breathing. She's desperate. She asks each daughter-in-law one by one just for some water.
Just water.
Yeah.
A basic human need.
Right. Shahida says she's too busy. Shabana just refuses, flat out. And Shakira turns away, doesn't even engage.
Unbelievable. So they just left her thirsty and sick.
Left her to suffer from thirst, alone.
That's horrific. It goes beyond neglect into active cruelty, denying water. It symbolizes something profoundly rejecting, doesn't it?
It really does. And what adds another layer is their behavior around the husbands.
Ah, the two-faced aspect.
Exactly, in front of their husbands. Respectful, dutiful, behind their backs, backbiting. Openly saying they wished the old woman wasn't such a burden.
That hypocrisy is chilling. Maintaining that facade while harboring such resentment, it speaks volumes about the hidden tensions.
Absolutely. And Bibi Halima feels this deeply. One night, in deep distress, she's praying, prostrating, and she says, "Oh Allah, if I'm a burden to these daughters-in-law, then take me, but show them the right path."
Wow. Even then, her prayer is for them to find the right path, not just for her own relief. That's quite something.
It shows her character, doesn't it? So the next morning, the sons come back from the fields. Akram, the eldest, finds out his mother hasn't had anything to eat or drink since the night before.
He must have been furious.
He was. He confronts Shahida immediately. And her response?
Let me guess. Not apologetic.
Not at all. I was busy, she says. Why does she ask for so much food? Just like that. No remorse.
That complete lack of accountability, even when confronted by her husband, it shows how deep the resentment ran.
It broke the sons' hearts. They tried, they apologized to their mother, tried to make amends, warned their wives, sternly.
Did it help?
For a few days, maybe, but then the behavior just resumed, like nothing happened, the pattern was set.
It's like they were stuck in this cycle.
They were, and then things escalated again. Another health crisis for Bibi Halima.
Oh, no.
Severely ill, struggling to breathe. The daughters-in-law are right there, present in the house.
And this time, did they help?
No. Offered absolutely no assistance. Again.
This repeated neglect during critical moments. It's almost like they are passively hoping for the worst outcome. It's incredibly dark.
The sons arrived just in time, rushed her to a doctor. The doctor confirmed any more delay could have been, well, fatal.
Catastrophic. So surely this was the final straw for the sons.
You'd think so. They issued a very strong warning this time. You must respect our mother. But the daughters-in-law, they got cunning.
How so?
They conspired, started working on their husbands, convincing them that Bibi Halima should live separately.
What was their reasoning or excuse?
They claimed her presence was negatively impacting the children, creating friction.
Using the children. A classic manipulative tactic. Shifting the blame, making her the problem instead of their own behavior.
Exactly. And the sons. Maybe they were just exhausted by the constant fighting, the tension in the house. They reluctantly agreed.
They agreed to move their mother out.
Yes. To a small house outside the village.
Wow. And Bibi Halima?
She left silently. Heartbroken, you can only imagine. Well, the daughters-in-law, the source says, rejoiced. They thought they'd won.
So they removed the burden, the perceived source of their problems. But the narrative suggests this action had immediate consequences, right?
Immediate and direct. The moment Bibi Halima was gone, the blessings, the prosperity of the home, it just vanished.
Really?
Yeah.
An immediate shift.
That's what the story claims. Crops started failing, livestock got sick, new problems cropped up every single day in the household. It was like everything started to unravel.
It paints a picture of the elder, the pious mother, as being the source of the home's baraka, or blessings. And her removal directly causes hardship. It's a very clear cause and effect.
Very clear. And the misfortunes became quite specific and personal for each daughter-in-law. How so? Well, Shahida, the one who started it all, her eldest son became gravely ill. No medical explanation. Doctors were baffled. Endless hospital visits drained all their savings.
Directly hitting her where it would hurt most. And the others.
Shabana's daughter suddenly faced constant obstacles finding a suitable marriage match. Nothing worked out, caused huge distress.
Again, hitting a key area of family concern and honor.
And Shakira's husband, Ashraf, his business just tanked. A severe downturn, daily losses. Nothing was going right for him financially.
It's almost like the consequences were tailored, weren't they? Affecting their children, family reputation, financial stability, the very things they likely prioritized.
And the sons started to see it. They began connecting the dots. These problems started when their mother left. Her distress seemed linked to their misfortune.
But the wives?
Still obstinate, refused to see the connection. Or maybe just refused to admit it.
Stubbornness can be powerful. So what finally broke through?
A dream. Akram, the eldest son, had this really powerful dream. He saw his mother, Bibi Halima, weeping.
Weeping.
Yes, and in the dream, she said to him, "Son, I never cursed you, but Allah saw my pain."
That's profound. Not a curse from her, but divine awareness of her suffering leading to consequences. That's a crucial distinction in the narrative's theology.
It hit Akram hard, a real reckoning. He told his brothers, and the very next morning, they rushed over to the small house where Bibi Halima was staying.
What did they find?
They found her alone, just sitting there, reading the Quran, quiet dignity.
Must have been a powerful sight for them.
It was. They broke down. Tears streaming, they fell at her feet, kissed her feet, begging for forgiveness. "Ammi John, Mother Dare, we made a terrible mistake. Please, please come back home."
Such a dramatic reversal, falling at her feet. What was her response? Was she angry? Resentful?
Her response was incredibly insightful. According to the source, she said, "Son, I am always with you. My heart is with you. but your wives' hearts must be clean.
Wow. So she put the responsibility back on them, but specifically on the state of the wives' hearts. It wasn't just about bringing her back physically.
Exactly. It raised the question, what truly changes a heart? It wasn't enough just to undo the action. There needed to be a genuine internal shift.
That's a deep point.
What?
It suggests true reconciliation requires more than just fixing the external situation.
So the sons went back home. Their minds were made up. They confronted their wives. A final ultimatum.
Which was?
Respect our mother, live with her respectfully, or you leave this house.
And the daughters-in-law. After everything that had happened.
Still defiant. They actually declared, if that old woman comes back, we're leaving.
Unbelievable. Even with the misfortunes, the dream, their husband's pleas, that level of defiance is really something.
The sons had had enough. Akram just said, okay, whoever wants to leave may leave, but mother will stay in this house.
He drew the line. Finally.
Yes. The next day, they brought Bibi Halima back. With honor. Restored her to her rightful place in the home.
And the daughters-in-law. Did they follow through on their threat?
They did. All three of them packed their bags and angrily went back to their parents' homes.
So the house is now just the sons and their mother. What happened next? Did things change?
Almost immediately. This is where the story takes another dramatic turn, the miraculous turnaround. Just a few days after Bibi Halima returned,
Yes.
Shahida gets a phone call. Her son, the one who'd been gravely ill for months.
What about him?
He suddenly recovered. Completely. Doctors were baffled. No medical reason for the abrupt healing.
Wow. Just like that.
Yeah.
The timing is undeniable in the narrative.
It was the proof point for Shahida. She instantly understood. This recovery, it was because her mother-in-law was back, because of her prayers, her presence.
The connection was finally made, inescapably.
She rushed back to the house, in tears, fell at Bibi Halima's feet, just begging for forgiveness. Truly repentant this time.
And Bibi Halima, after all that.
Pure compassion. She just said, daughter, forget all this. Allah is most merciful. She forgave her completely.
That act of forgiveness is almost as powerful as the consequences themselves, isn't it? It closes the loop.
It really does. And soon after, Shabana and Shakira heard about Shahida's son, and their own problems started resolving too. The marriage proposal started coming for Shabana's daughter. Ashraf's business started picking up.
So they came back too, apologizing.
Yes, they followed suit. They returned, truly sorry. And this led to the ultimate transformation.
Which was?
The three daughters-in-law didn't just tolerate Bibi Halima. They began to wholeheartedly serve her, love her. The source even says, perhaps hyperbolically, even more than their own mothers. A complete 180-degree turn.
A genuine change of heart, as Bibi Halima had indicated, was necessary.
Exactly. And with that change, with Bibi Halima honored and loved, the blessings returned to the home. Good crops, flourishing business, happiness restored, the whole cycle completed.
It's quite a narrative arc. From harmony to neglect to consequences and finally to repentance and restoration.
It really is. So stepping back from the story itself, this deep dive into a mother-in-law's blessing, it really hammers home a profound idea, doesn't it? That our elders can be, in a very real sense, a gateway to blessings.
Within the context of this story and the beliefs it represents, absolutely. It powerfully illustrates that serving and honoring parents-in-law, it's framed almost as an act of worship.
And conversely, treating them with cruelty can bring about, well, pretty immediate consequences right here, right now.
It's a stark portrayal of cause and effect, viewed through a spiritual lens.
So what does this mean for you listening? I mean, this isn't just some tale from far away. It holds up a mirror, I think, to universal themes. Compassion, consequence, those unseen dynamics in our own families.
Definitely. We've seen vividly how respect, or the sharp lack of it, could literally shift a household's fortunes in this story.
Right.
Honoring elders brought blessings through their prayers. Causing pain seemed to strip happiness away.
It really makes you think about the value we place, or sometimes fail to place, on the older generation.
And the potential ripple effects of our own actions, even small ones.
Absolutely. So here's a final thought to leave you with. Consider this. How might a genuine, heartfelt act of service or kindness towards an elder in your own life, could be a parent, a grandparent, an in-law, how might that not only just transform their day, but maybe, just maybe, open a door to unexpected blessings or shifts in your own life, your own family?
What hidden burden, perceived burden perhaps, might actually become a source of blessing with just a simple, genuine change of heart?
Something to think about.